Hi guys, it's Alejandra back again for another YouTube video, and today I'll be showing you how to make a pewter hockey game. So we've got a little hockey stick here that we'll be using. It's a half-day project. Children can do it if they have a responsible person with them, but you are handling hot things, so you'll need gloves and eye protection. And we'll be melting our pewter in this old bean tin. So you need to have something to pick up this bean tin so you don't get burnt. But we're using just pliers today. When you're making your things out of pewter, you need some clay to be able to make the mould. And so I'm using a block of Fimo today. And so we start by just taking a big wad of it and then rolling it out into a sausage. So that is very easily done. Hey presto. And then you compare, I'm gonna just compare it to my other mould, see how well it fits up. And so you can see I'm putting it over the top because then I can get the width and the height of it. And then we just curl it around to make the head of the stick. And so there we have a basic mould. When you're casting pewter, you've got to be aware that little gaps like these are very hard to get to. So I've left quite a big gap, this one, so I can get my file into there so I can make it nice and smooth when it's come out. So this is the mould we have. We baked it at 110 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes in the oven. And we leave it to cool for about 10 minutes. And so now it's rock solid and it's ready to go. The method that we're using today is called Sandcasting, and this here is a sandcasting set. You can get it for £25 off the internet, which is where we got ours. And so the method is we put the mould inside and we fill it full of sand. Then we take these apart, take the mould out, pour the molten metal in, and hey presto, you have your hockey stick. The mould splits in half, as you can see, and these both get filled with sand. And we put the mould in and it'll go half each way, and then we pour the molten metal in through these holes here and it'll run down into the mould, which will be here in a little space. One of the first steps that you have to do is to turn your mould over so the middle is facing down, and we do this so you get a flat edge of for the sand. Now, when you pour the molten metal in, you'll end up with a plug like this. And so we ended up cutting ours off because we didn't really need it. So we're going to be melting this down and using this as our hockey stick. But another step that you can use, which I recommend, is having the long part of your hockey stick facing towards the hole, because it's a lot easier for the pewter to get in there otherwise, and it looks nicer. It looks more aesthetically pleasing. You want to get some baby talcum powder. Ooh, we have some here. And so you want to put the talcum powder onto your mould so that the sand doesn't stick to your mould and that you don't rip the sand when you pull the mould out. The sand needs to be really compacted so that it almost seals so the molten metal can't get out. So you need to take a piece of wood like I have here, and then you just gently tap or whack, whatever you want to call it, down until it's really flat, and then you can add some more sand into the gaps when you've tapped it down and you don't think there's enough there. Like so. It's quite therapeutic actually. A thing that we use to get it flat in sandcasting is this thing which I call the scrape. So you get your piece of wood and you slowly just bring it across the sand and take off any excess that isn't needed. And so you just keep doing that throughout the period of your sandcasting. So you bang and then you scrape after you've done that. Put the moulds back together, and now we've got to fill the other side with sand. So both parts of the mould have been filled, and now it just needs us to take them apart and take the mould out. So let's open it up. Nice and slowly. It doesn't break. Oh no. What's happening? I think it's worked. Yes, it's worked very nicely. Oh. So now we need to make the tunnel so that the pewter can actually get to the mould hole. So I'm just using a spoon for this, the back of the spoon. So you need to get ever so close and just make a tiny hole, and then you bring the rest of it out. Just try to get really close. And then that is your tunnel that you need for the pewter. Let's just clean that out a bit. So that's nice. And now, the trickiest part of all of this, we have to kneel for this, is getting the mould out. Now, I don't think this is going to turn out so well, but we'll see. Can't find the edge of the mould. Right, I've got it. Nearly. No. Now we have the indented side and the flattish side. And so now we've done all that, it's time for the exciting part, to fill it with molten metal. As you can see, I put my overalls on because we're smelting metal. And so here I've clamped the mould, because if we didn't clamp it, it would all just break apart with the molten metal and it would go everywhere. The equipment we have here is an old beans tin with no wrapper, because obviously if you're heating things up, the wrapper's going to set on fire. And we've bent it just a bit at the front, so it acts as a funnel really. We have a normal camping stove with normal camping gas, and we've got pewter. So we bought this off the internet, so it's just a pewter ingot really. And once you've finished drinking up all your ale or milk, whatever you like to drink, you can smelt down your tankards and you can use these, because these are pewter, except you want non-lead pewter, because as most people know, lead is fairly poisonous. Once you've turned the stove on and put your pieces of pewter in, it will take 4 to 5 minutes to smelt down, and once you've done that, you grip it at the top and then you pour it into your mould. Okay, so we've melted the metal and it's in this jug. It's quite heavy, so let's bring it over and let's go pour it in. Oh, that's enough. Then if we just put this back, no, we can't put it there. And we shake this to make sure all the air gets out, just gently, nice and gently. Okay, so we're good now. So once you pour the metal in, I would recommend leaving it for a minute, because it sets extremely quickly, but it takes a while to cool down. Okay, so we're opening it up to see how it's done. I'm 50-50 to see how. I don't think it worked, but we'll have a look. Okay, fingers crossed. I think it worked. I think it might have worked. Yeah, that's cool. Let's just get a brush. Yay! It worked! I feel like an archaeologist. Oh, this looks so good. So as you can see, just bringing it out, it looks really good. So it looks great. So we'll cut this bit off here. And so there's just a few things that we need to file off. But other than that, I think it turned out pretty good. So if we just give it a little twirl, it's a little shiny up there. It turned out just as the mould. If we compare the mould, It looks brilliant. So now we are going to cut the plug off with a hacksaw. So here I am grinding just all the misfits off the edges of the mould. You must wear gloves here and eye protection. I took the casting marks off the hockey stick with the grinding wheel, and then I used my little file here to get into this gap down here to make it all nice and smooth rather than sharp and jaggedy. Then the next thing I did was I took some wire wool and I polished it off, and if you come and have a look, it's very shiny now. And I got these by putting them on the grinding wheel, and I think it looks quite nice. The thing about these projects is that at the end of it you get toys like these which you can play with. Today me and my brother will be using a little ball bearing as our hockey ball, and now we're going to go play the match. Let the games begin.